Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Shelly over at Crafty Cottage Dreams. How are you doing today? This fine morning. It's supposed to be in the 80s today. Yay, my kind of weather. But today I'm going to be sharing my Tall Fabric Savannah Rose journals. And this is journal number 1. I am going to be posting pictures, videoing them, and listing them in my Etsy shop separately. That way I do not get confused. They're relatively the same, but the images and so on and so forth may be slightly different, and that way and anybody else doesn't get confused either as well. So this is Savannah Rose journal number 1, and I will be doing, I made 3, so I'll be doing them separately throughout the day. Hopefully I'll get to them all. If not, I will finish them up sometime tomorrow. But yeah, I'm super pleased with how they came out. This is fabric printed on my fabric sheets using Sharon's digitals over at the Journalosity shop and her French documents. And I also use Heather over at Ruby and Pearl, her vintage photo collection of the little children. I just love her work and her photos as well. I think they're super, super cute. And of course, I used a bunch of rose images and some German documents. I just love the texture and the feel of them. I've had them forever. I think it's in German. I'm not entirely sure. But I don't know any other languages besides English. So, yep. And I also use, okay guys. Oh, they're helping me out once again. And they're very active at this time. So, there's really nothing I can do about that. Sorry if that annoys anybody. They're my little companions. But anyway, and I also use some documents from my French book. Yeah, so how about we just dive right in? I have this beautiful lace trim. It's stretchy. I love it. And then here it is. I have done some hand stitching all around. I added this beautiful vintage lace here. It's so pretty. I added this rose floral I got from Etsy shop. I have a whole bunch of them. And I added this rose image here as well. And that is done in my fabric printables as well. And I just added some metal corners here. So how about we just dive right in. And I love the feel and the texture and the squishiness of it all. Blueberry. Blueberry. Sorry, guys. I added a lace pocket here. Vintage lace pockets. And I added some trim on a ball pin here. Some vintage, not a ball pin, I'm sorry, a little Tim Holtz pen, mini pen. I added some lace here. And then I added some ephemera. These are done also on fabric. I have not taken the backings off. I figured you guys could play around with them yourselves. So I added those two, and those are in fabric. I printed those Sharon's French documents on that fabric, and I just love how it came out. And then let's see. I added this as well. It's just like a vintage receipt. I've had a couple of those left, so I added that as well. And I have this beautiful rose image here. You can certainly journal in the back with some lace, vintage lace, or antique lace, I should say. And I added some bling. I always like to add a little bit of bling. So that is that. And then here are those German documents here. You'll see them throughout the journal. I added my little cluster, my little lace clusters that I love adding in my journals. Some antique lace here. I have some sari silk up there. And this beautiful, the vintage children images. So we'll go through this. Added some eyelets. I just love those children. They're so cute. And then I also created these, and I'm also using all pink paper clips. Here's Sharon's beautiful French document. And I added these tag embossed, distressed vintage and antique lace swatches. Just did a little collaging with some music paper. And of course, I've added my vintage tape. Here's a cute little, beautiful rose image. And I backed it with one of my book pages. One of the inside covers of it. I just like the look of it. And I did some stenciling, of course. My rose stenciling. I love this. Here's another beautiful image. Some vintage lace. Certainly journal in the back. Of course, stenciling. And I also added some lace on those paper clips there. I love the look and how they pop out on the side of the journal. Here is from document from, it's like a receipt. I can't really say it's a document. It's from my French book. And it is old and a bit fragile. Here's another beautiful image. Here's another one of those tags that I created with a vintage lace on them. I love her. She's so cute. I love this image. I love, love, love this lace. I used it all up. I didn't want to, but I did. I love stenciling, using the rose stencils throughout my Savannah Rose journals. Then I added some beautiful lace trim here. And I added a little sticker with my vintage tape. I love that look on a page. Here's the center. Here is another vintage lace tag swatch. And then this is from one of my books as well. I love the image on here, and I have so many that I just wanted to throw that in there as well. And there's plenty of room to journal on. And this is the, pretty sure it's German. I love the texture and feel of it. But I also wanted to add, I think I may put it in that area. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. But anyway, I have so many of these. It's dated February 12th, 1932 to Miss Doris Baxter. And it's a letter, if I can get it out. I can't get it out. Maybe stuck. Okay, let's try a different one. I don't want to rip it. This one's dated 1935. Yep, and this one comes out nicely. So, but I also wanted to add one of these two inside the journal. Now, there we go. Just simply a letter. It's hard to read, but I wanted to add one of those. And for now, I'll just slip it right in there. I added some lace here, stenciling. I added a sticker with my vintage tape from my French book. I love this image. And I've also used various rose images that I've had throughout my stash, and I've had them forever. They're just ephemera that I've ordered and haven't necessarily printed off, and I've just had them forever. Whether they came in a little package, I can't quite remember. Here is another vintage lace antique swatch tag. And I have this little postcard here. It's not a real one. It's an image with some antique lace. And of course my vintage tape. And I love this. I love this antique lace here. And here is the back. And then I created these as well. And then I love it on that fabric paper. I just added my coffee stained a rose applique and just added it there on the top. I love how it kind of peeks out. And then I created these tag pockets made out of fabric. And I added some ledger, sample stamp, my vintage tape. I added a beautiful pink ruffle here with some antique lace over it. And it's backed with my vintage ledger. And inside of it, we have 3 beautiful tags with roses on them. And these are from the Tim Holtz collection. I have so many Tim Holtz items that I really need to start using them up and incorporating them in my journals. And that is it, ladies. That is Savannah, my tall fabric Savannah Rose journal. And this is just attached in the back with a bulldog clip. And that is my Savannah Rose journal. I love it. And I hope you guys love it too. This is my tall Savannah Rose fabric journal number 1. And I'm going to upload this video and get it listed in my Etsy shop. And I'll be back for my Savannah Rose journal number 2 sometime today. See you shortly, guys. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.